Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful. When the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you gotta get cut. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun.
Good morning, everybody. Well, it is Tuesday. I'm feeling a lot better today. You know what? I'm feeling a lot better today. Let's come over to the charts and see what they've been up to overnight. This is the last day of the month, by the way, and you know there's always going to be some flows on the last day of the month. We also have some news. But over here in the treasuries, well, they had a strong up move. They've given up most of that at a point, but I would mostly call it a wash. Kind of similar to the S&P 500. I mean, the S&P was a little weird, but in the end, we're basically unchanged and still fighting over 4,000. Although I would say yesterday the market seemed very unhappy that they lost it and closed below it. So here this morning we've got a run in oil. Also, well, okay, natural gas just sideways this morning. Gold and silver had a little bit of a rally yesterday. A little bit. I mean, it's still the larger trend is just dismal, right? And of course, silver just looks even worse. Copper though is having a little bit of a run, recovering some of that downside from last week. And then we come over here, Bitcoin's just all over the place, man. I don't know about that one. And the dollar. So we had this move down in the dollar, back below 105, and we kind of been sideways since. So it seems like that was the primary driver behind what happened yesterday, and it probably was the Brexit, Northern Ireland protocol stuff. So hopefully we get that out of the way, but I don't know, we'll see. The news. Yes, the news. Okay, so here in about a minute, we are going to get U.S. advanced goods trades balance, retail inventories ex auto, wholesale inventories, and Canadian GDP numbers. Later today, we've got Chicago PMI. Remember, that's the weird one that comes out early, and we have end of month flows, which I suspect will probably be positive in the treasuries, but we'll see. So I think that we should have some opportunities here today, though. Let's let them get through the news first, though. Oh, Nassim Taleb was talking about atoms. That's funny. I really didn't think that anybody was going to care about that thing, but I think a lot of people want to talk about it. Put it that way. Okay, so here's the news. Let's see here. Well, Canadian GDP quarter over quarter annualized 0% versus an expected 1.6. That's no good. Goods trades balance 91.5 versus an expected 91. So the goods trades balance a little bit more extreme than. Who is pissed? Scott Adams is pissed. Nassim Taleb is pissed. Oh yeah, retail inventories ex auto spot 2%. Well, I don't know. It looks like that they might be willing to make a move off of this, but the Taleb You think Taleb is mad about it? I don't know. I think that Taleb is, it's kind of funny because he's had some really serious disagreements with the left, but he is a real lefty. He is a real lefty, and the thing that bothers me about Taleb, even though I think almost everything that he says about the math and everything else is absolutely correct, okay? But he has a really strong political bias, and I don't think he realizes it. He is like that quintessential clueless liberal that just is not aware of how big of a bubble they actually live in. You know what I mean? But whatever. So that's why it's like, why would he listen? I'll talk about those sorts of things because I'm going to talk about whatever is in the news, and I think that understanding like what the culture is kind of important, and like because that you understand that context, that can help your trading. It can help you learn how the news cycle goes and how to interpret news. And it helps us understand systems and how to build better systems for ourselves, right? But for Taleb, like, why talk about that stuff, you know? Why do you think that smart and intelligent people become stupid when it becomes about politics? Well, I don't know if he's necessarily being stupid, okay? But you gotta realize, man, how powerful the tribal influences are on us, right? I think my throat is feels a little bit raspy today, and my nose is running, so I think I'm gonna be okay, and I probably would get over, but I may be catching something. Anyways, like this is really where I think that the big issue with like our like modern American society is turning up here, right? Is that people are tribal, and it used to be that our tribe was America, and it seems like that's not the case for a very large portion of Americans now. Particularly the left. They no longer view America as their primary tribe. They view their race or their political party as their primary tribe, as opposed to their nation or their religion. And that, you know, there's upsides and downsides to that, but it's a new thing, and I'm seeing a lot of harm from it. And especially if you view your tribe as your political party primarily, that can really negatively affect your trading decisions, I think. Unless you're like, you know, not neurotypical. Sorry, unless you're neurodivergent, right? Unless you're neurodivergent, and then it's a different set of things. Okay, well, what is neurodivergent? It's basically a catch-all term for your ADHD, autistic, or something else. Goldman Sachs CEO says asset and wealth platform key driver for growth. So this something's going on with Goldman Sachs where they're abandoning the consumer credit thing. I mean, I guess they're not abandoning it, but they're like way reducing it. Like it's no longer like this is where our growth is going to come from, yada 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 yada. Now it's their growth is going to come from asset wealth management. So this morning, Goldman Sachs CEO says asset and wealth platform key driver for growth. That's a one to keep in mind for them over at Goldman. The bank's doing well today, by the way. Yeah, so let me just talk about how the neurodivergence thing kind of works. And this is Seth's opinion, okay? I don't think that I should be considered an expert on neurodivergence, nor do I think that we have enough scientific information to make all of the conclusions that I'm making. But this is just kind of observation that I've found, okay? If you are autistic, okay, one of the key, what is the word? Symptoms. One of the key symptoms that you need to really be diagnosed with autism is a difficulty or dislike of change, okay? So like, I like to think of the autistic person. A good example is Rain Man from the movie with Tom Cruise, right? And one of the things that happens in that movie at the very beginning of the movie is they go into the Rain Man's room, and he's got all of his baseball cards and all of these other things that he's super interested in. And he is really incredibly anxious and agitated that people are in his room touching things, because they could change something, he could lose something, etc., 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 right? That really turned positive there real awfully fast, didn't it? Anyways, so it's that difficulty with change. Okay, so that kind of seems to not make sense with some other things that we see with neurodivergent people. So for instance, the neurodivergent tend to like more likely to fight against authority, for instance, right? More likely to push against authority. They're less prone to a lot of certain kinds of psychological tricks and manipulations and things like that. And why would that be if they have difficulty with change? Wouldn't having difficulty with change make you always be in line with what the powers that be say that you should do, right? Well, here's why I think that this happens. In ADHD is primarily a problem with neurotransmitters. You don't have enough of the neurotransmitters in the cleft, and so certain cells require a stronger impulse to trigger. Okay, so autism, if we're talking about it as a spectrum, autism could be, and in some instances, that same kind of mechanism, but stronger to the point that it like changes the structures in your brain a bit, right? And so having that dopamine, right, is like a really key driver behind neurodivergence people's interests and motivations. Okay, so the time that you as a person have the most dopamine in particular is like 14 to 24, right? So this is why, for instance, people tend to prefer and stick with the music that was popular when they were a teenager, right? Because that was the time that they had the most dopamine and their brain responded most strongly to the music, right? So what an autistic person will tend to do is they will find an interest when they are a teenager and they will stick with it forever after. And then anything else that comes along afterwards that is different from that, they will outright reject no matter what, right? And so you can see that with politics too, is they have a certain conception of what politics is, how things should go, etc., etc. And the instant that they see anything that diverges from what it should be, they're upset about it. And so that's why a lot of neurodivergent people, and they're not affected by the tribal politic kind of persuasion methods the same way other people do, because they don't get the neurochemical boost from that stuff, right? And so you get a person that kind of fights authority. Looks like yield's finding some serious resistance. Well, I could be wrong, but the reason I took the trade that I did, of course, when we had the news, it moved down. And then I said, wow, it sure came back up there quickly, right? Well, the whole thing is it's the end of the month, so I've been expecting buying in the bonds. And what we just saw there, there was definitely buying behind that move. There was definitely buying behind that move. I also, I had a good opportunity to pick somebody off, so I took it. I don't know who was the other guy that took that, but, you know, it was a good pick, wasn't it? We'll see if they go further. It looks like that there's still some pressure in the treasuries, but it's definitely like slowed down, so. I mean, there's definitely pressure here, but there does look like there's a little bit of iceberging and profit taking at 17. So that may be like the move. I don't know. I mean, like the move for now, at least. I don't know if this is one that I feel really like I really want to sit in. I say that, and then I'm going to get out and be like, oh man, it moved a whole 5 basis points. Why didn't I stay in? Yada, yada. Yeah, I don't know. Right now, though, so remember remember the other day we were arguing about spreads and stuff like that? I'm telling you, man, the market maker reacts to your trades. So because we all went short, he's making the bid the best price and the offer the worst price, right? Like there's a spread. He could say, oh, maybe a good offer is 4 and a bad offer is 36. Why is he holding it the way that he is? Well, because he knows that we're short and then we have to buy. So if we have to buy, he's gonna give us a 5-tick spread. See what I mean? They totally watch the positions that people took in and hold the spread in a way that's disadvantageous to you. So you really need to have flows continue to come in after you in order to make money from it. But the whole point of all of that was I'm not sure that I would read it as resistance. I think that it was just they were always going to buy it, and that just happened to be the timing in all of it. I was waiting down there to, you know, well, okay, if they come down, I can put my liquidity right as it touches, but it looks like it's not gonna work out that way. Yeah, I've definitely got some like stuff still up in my head that needs to drain, but maybe I need to drink more water to get it to come down. Nassim Taleb is into cycling right now. That's funny. You know what I really want to do? I mean, I would like to get my endurance a little bit better. I don't know if running is a very good I mean, I could pick up running and maybe I'd be good at it, but I've never been a good runner. I'd need to be like trained, I think, because my feet like go out. Okay, but I like rowing, but getting a good rower is like expensive. Let's see here. Goldman Sachs Investor Day slides. Key highlights. The company confirmed new 30 billion share repurchase program. Ooh. Long-term targets: 14 to 16% return on investment, 15 to 17% ROTE, 60% efficiency ratio. The company made a lot of progress over the last 3 years, on track to meet asset management and fundraising targets. Asset management will continue to grow and market share continues to increase. Pomegranate and beet juice for what? For my nose? Like, it's just enough to bother me. If a normal person probably wouldn't be, you know, too bothered by it. But you watch me and I'm super bothered by it, and you'll be like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? Why can't he hold still for a second? Always itching his nose, itching his eyes. I really wonder, I wish that I had taken like an allergy test before COVID, because it really seems to me like COVID made me allergic to stuff. Like I bet you that it was always there, because my mom is allergic to stuff, right? I definitely got it from my mom, right? But like it's so much worse post-COVID. So did you see that when the offers were willing to hold the liquidity, the market buyers decided to go for it, and we just had another like 7,000 net contracts bought? So there is definitely a some sort of a large meta order coming through. Let's see if I can get them to react here. Yep. So you see that if I try and put my bid on it, that other robots try and front run me. And instead of just one contract there, it's 8. Okay, well, that was interesting because there was some real volume behind that. I guess they did make a new high because they did 18, huh? And 17.5 was new as well, but 4,000 traded there to make it happen. Jeez. Okay, we are going to have a red book here in about 5 minutes. That's usually not a news moving event, but you see the market makers still fiddling with the having a large offer. And you got to ask, like, why Why should there be a more than a 5-tick spread in the 10-year? Well, I mean, it is rollover, but I think it's because people caught them. I should note there has been a little bit of buying there at 3941. So Spot Gamma, our AM note discussed the correlation between rate volatility, the move index, and equity volatility. Higher rates / volatility has been a precursor to a lower SPX, but that relationship is now stalling as the move index shifts. But equities, he doesn't say this, but but SPX seems unresponsive. That is certainly something that's been going on. Should we move to? You can. It doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. I mean, as long as there's volume to execute against. If there's significantly more like volume over there, then maybe it is worth going. I didn't even check, but I mean, today is the last contract of this one, so you don't have to switch, but there might be better liquidity over there. Beet juice can boost your endurance. Yeah, I don't have very good long run endurance. Like I've done sprints and stuff, but I haven't done like a lot, where you just get your heart rate up and going for like 30 minutes. I haven't done that in a long time, so that would probably like be really hard on me, right? Jacob, how are you doing? Welcome back. We didn't get a chance when you came back in. What have you been up to? You just been doing the same thing, or did you like kind of move away from training for a little bit and come back, or you just got bored with that? Where you been? This is one of our one of our star beginners, I feel. So we're definitely like in the liquidity hole here. Even then though, I'm a little surprised that the market maker was willing to take as many contracts as they did at like 17.5 and stuff. All right, here comes the red book. I've never seen so much Twitter and media coverage of Goldman Sachs Investor Day. Did I just miss it before? What's with that? It says I'm second in queue. Interesting. So something I did not notice until just now is that when we moved when rates moved lower here, the gold moved quite a bit. We'll slow down in January. What about yourself? Well, we just got out of a period where we were really active, right? So it's been a little bit slower the past week or so. But I'm thinking that we may be on the precipice of another increase in volatility in the treasuries here. So, nah, I'm not using the when the trial for that ended, I just canceled it because I wasn't using it enough to justify the cost. And the quality of the data, it did give me the data that I wanted, but the quality of it wasn't good enough. So if we were using broker tech and we had the broker tech feed, we would definitely get a narrower spread. And then you would primarily just have to deal with the error involved in calculating the cost to carry, right? So you can see the cash shields on a life chart. Yeah. I think there's cool things about it. I just didn't think that it was worth, what was it, like $150 a month or whatever. I think the other big thing was that like the quality of the news sources that were available to me from that weren't, they just didn't give me the thing that I wanted. You know, it was mostly news that I was already getting through my news squawk, you know. So you see how they're reluctant to hit me? That's how you know we're still stuck in a liquidity hole, right? So I have to get another retail trader to hit me. Because the market maker's not going to do it. Or flattening. So I was gonna say, it kind of reminded me, because yesterday in the comments of the video afterwards, somebody was giving me shit for not taking very many trades, which I feel like my default response to that should be from now on, like, guys, stop telling on yourself. Okay, just because you overtrade, don't try and get me to overtrade. Okay, unless we have a reason to think it's going to go a certain way, we're not going to touch it, right? But I'm also kind of starting to realize, and I started thinking a lot yesterday about, like, what are we doing to help the team as a whole, right? And I'm starting to realize that sometimes my role on this team that we got going here means that I don't get to trade as much. I'm starting to realize. Sometimes I might yap and miss a trade, but like, if that's okay, if the things that I'm yapping about are going to help you guys, right? I think it's worth it. Sometimes I might have to, you know, I think that one place where in the future that I might be able to help people is with risk management as well. And so that would also be a, well, I can't trade as much because I have to worry about helping other people, you know? And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Why was I thinking about that? Well, I was thinking there was this, I made a TikTok yesterday. There's a good uptick. You see how there's a gap. All right. Well, whoever it is that has to sell, you're going to have to do one tick further now. Sorry. That time it was because the 30 years moved up a little bit. More flattening. You're right. It is flattening a little bit today, isn't it? And that 30-year is kind of more of the driver on the upside. That could be because they're yeah. So if the theory for the meta order buy this morning is end of month rebalancing, then that says to me that, you know, the funds are still very much favoring the longer term yields, right? I'm reading the PDF you put up. That is very good. You explain microfair. Oh, thank you so much. When I was on last week or over the holiday, and I got going on that because I had written like the stuff, but then I got into like the implications and all of that sort of stuff. I felt really good about what I was writing. I was like, this is good stuff. This is the things that I'm trying to explain, that it's like you can't necessarily always use the microstructure to like know which way it's going to go, right? But it's a really good explanation for how it still helps you, right? Is that you can kind of see where it suggests there are certain things that you should not do, or you know, times that it is or isn't good to get in and stuff like that, right? So isn't it so interesting though that like the things that like we can really prove are a thing, they don't give you like a directional edge, right? I find that really curious, you know, because I guess the thing is that retail traders are always want to say, okay, I have this pattern, that means 60% chance it's going to go this way. And like what I'm realizing is that the market usually doesn't tell you that it's going to go up or down, because the market orders could do anything, right? Where can you find this PDF? So if you go to speculatorseth.com/strategy.html, the link is also in my latest video, Why You Suck at Day Trading. I'll put it here in chat. speculatorseth.com/strategy.html. So you go to that page and sign up with your email, and it will email you the PDF as an attachment. And when you the main reason for having a mailing list for it is so that when we make updates, we can tell you about it. What if people applied the microstructure to the larger liquidity flow on the over-the-counter markets? Is it because they don't have the data from the over-the-counter markets? You'd think you could predict risk on-off from OTC markets doing the same practices as regular secondary markets. Maybe. So I think that there are enough similarities between how the over-the-counter market works and how our regular limit order book markets work, because you still kind of have like limit orders to a degree. I've never used the system, so I don't completely understand. I'm sure if Akshay was here, he'd be chiming in, right? But I think there are some similarities. So maybe you would see like similar behaviors, but I would be even more interested in, are there behaviors that are seen specifically in the over-the-counter market that you could take advantage of, right? One thing about the counter market is that you're not going to have as much liquidity, and so you get a lot more room to play with the spread and stuff, right? There's a lot more inefficiency in there, like pricing inefficiency, right? In these markets, a place where you can like just outright do arbitrage, really hard to find those, right? But in the over-the-counter market, it's probably a lot easier to find those. Well, I am kind of starting to wonder if maybe it would have been better if I had been on the new contract. Have they traded more volume over there? Because it's kind of difficult to coax anybody to hit into me. Let's see here. So this is G and we want H. I would say there is maybe a little bit more volume over on the new contract. Only by a little bit, though. It sure does look like the volume is kind of split. Okay, well, we're getting more of a test of the downside of the liquidity hole now. So we'll see if the liquidity holds it or what. Oh yeah, to the other part of your comment though, it probably is the case that you're not going to see as much research about how the stylized behavior of OTC markets because they probably data is more difficult for the researchers to come by. You know, a lot of the research, a lot of the reason why the research went the way that it did was because they got access to the data. I was sitting there like, it sounds like I'm hearing the music like echoed a little bit, and I just realized that I had my speakers on a little bit. So the bum thing is that there was a point where I could have gotten a fill there, right? Looks to me like the buyer is still there though. Like, look at how much they're hitting 15.5. Okay, so, oh, by the way, Case Shiller 20 year over year was 4.65 versus an expected 4.8, so that kind of helps. Next event we got is PMI in about 30 minutes or so. Remember, the PMI gets released to the public at 9:45 Eastern time, but subscribers get it 3 minutes early. So at 9:42, we should be alert. CB was... Oh, right. You're right. No. There's U.S. Chicago PMI at 10 o'clock. There is CB consumer confidence. By the way, thanks for the comments on the video yesterday, NASDAQ. I think it really helped out. The video did really well. Like we got like double the number of viewers on the first day that we usually get. Actually, I haven't checked it this morning. I'm going to go and check. I am not good at social media. Well, I think what we need to work on now is like, okay, so like we're getting good comments. 269 viewers on the first day. That's really good. I think that's even better than the Ninja Trader video, actually. So that's like really encouraging. Normally in this period, we're more like 60 to 150. So that's really good. But what we need to work on now is not only getting a conversation going, but getting a conversation that is like ongoing, that people want to respond to and stuff, right? Ooh, that was a strong sell. It's flipping around on me. What do you think I should do? I did for a moment consider, well, I could scratch it. But I was like, no, I should be able to hold on. Now that it's like -5, now I'm kind of like, well. Like, look, I'm the only one hanging out there all the way down at 9.4 now. There was some real volume behind that, though. Is it because the dollar is shifting there a little bit? But the dollar is rising a tad. Stock's kind of turning a little bit too. Bash crypto, then maybe I should. I think the next video is going to be the problem with volume profile. I think that's probably going to trigger a lot of discussion. And then after that, I think the next video is going to be why Bitcoin sucks. Yeah. And then from there, those are the videos that I really want to make. From there, the other videos that I have on my list are kind of more like videos that I suspect should do well on YouTube, but I'm not. So like one of them is how much money do you need to trade? I don't find that video that interesting. And I think a lot of people won't like the answers, but that video probably will do well because I've seen other creators make a video of to the same effect that have done well. Fuck. Well, that was a good trade. Like really, that was a good trade. The volume that we had against us was very unexpected, and I can't explain. It's unfortunate that we didn't get our fills down there, so I'm kind of gonna chalk that one up to bad luck. But like the entry and everything else about it was really good. I think the only thing that maybe we could have changed was maybe if we had been in the other instrument, it would have been different. So I'm gonna switch over here to my camera and I'm gonna move my instruments over now, all right? Move from G to H. Move over to March. I'm still happy about that trade. I definitely want to know what's the cause of the selling though. I guess we should have been suspicious, right? Because the offers didn't get out of the way. I mean, there was fight in it. There was selling against it, right? Let's see here. H. Good. Oh, 396. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Okay. So we're good. And now for me, we might get an opportunity to make it back, but now is probably not the best time. You know, the other thing is that we really had the square root law come in there on us. You see, if we come to these charts, you see how like there was a certain amount up. There's a decent amount up, but then it was easier for them to fall down. I mean, there was volume on this, but it wasn't nearly as much. The liquidity was still damaged down here, I guess, which is curious to me. Again, by the way, look at upper left. Like the gold really moved there. Like most other stuff didn't. I guess the dollar moved a little bit, but it seems like gold moved stronger on that move than it normally would. You can't infer damage to liquidity. Well, the only reason I say that is because we did move down on less volume, right? So But I guess the reason why I'm not like trying to say that it was like, they definitely didn't hold it per se, what is that I don't know if it was the liquidity down here was still damaged. I mean, it's been long enough that it should be healed. So it may be more of a correlation sort of a thing going on. It's just I'm not really seeing the like, I mean, the dollar moved, but it doesn't completely make sense, you know? So I'm not 100% sure what to make of that. I'm also just a little bit taken back by how quickly it flipped around, you know? It's like we get in the trade, we get the win, we're stuck in the liquidity hole, we're not able to get any fills in the liquidity hole, right? And then it turns back down super hard after sitting there for no reason, right? Was there actually a reason for it to drive like that, or is the market maker playing games with me? I don't know. I definitely didn't like the way that turned out. The market maker really screwed me over, man. I couldn't get anybody to sell into me. I guess if the only thing that I could have done was turned around, and I think I could have gotten like 8, right? There was a point where I canceled my orders at the beginning. I shouldn't have done that. But I thought there was a good chance at continuation based on the thesis for the trade and everything. This move down, I think, really kind of destroys, damages our thesis, doesn't it? Yeah, by the way, on that new video, the impressions click-through rate on some of them are like really high. I wish that microstructure you mentioned was less expensive. You can even buy it used in the, yeah. So I've found that like the books that have the good stuff in it really are expensive. Yeah, they're going to be at least $60. But the other thing I will tell you is that if you search around hard enough, you can find almost all of those for free somewhere in like a PDF form. Almost always. You just have to dig deep. If that's your thing, if you can't afford the book, I'd say go for it. But I'm just saying. Well, so we got a little bit of a pullback now. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what to make of this because it was like a really aggressive order down, right? But like the way the liquidity in this area is reacting and the way that it's going is not quite, it's something's off about it. I'm afraid to buy because I don't think I'll understand the math. Well, I don't think that anybody understands the math the first time they read it. I would say it would help to have calculus, but even if you don't have calculus, you could probably still make do. But, you know, in that book, they'll go through the model of it and everything, but then, you know, they explain what the implications of it are, and they do a really good job of explaining like what the takeaways are and everything. So even if you don't understand the math, you still get something from it. And like what I found for me was that like I read through the whole book, right? And I started to see, oh, okay, here, this model, here's where this one's applicable, and here's where this one's applicable. And once I had like the higher level view of where the research was, then when I went back and read other parts, it made a lot more sense, right? And then it was like, oh, wow, retained a lot more of the knowledge from that book than I realized. Right? So now the other thing on it is that I think that these are books. I don't think that these are books that you can like sit and read in your bed before you go to sleep, unless the intention is for you to fall asleep. Right? I think that they're books that you're gonna have to sit at a table with a notebook and take notes, and maybe even in some of these like actually do programming if these are books related to programming. Like you really have to like study them, you know. I'm just checking the analytics on this news video. I mean, I thought the video was gonna do well, but it's outperforming quite a bit from what I expected. I guess the thumbnail worked really well. I don't know. Anyways, is Jigsaw just for the future markets, or can you use it for stocks as well? So I am not familiar with the way through Jigsaw to trade stocks. It does it does connect with interactive brokers, right? So there might be a hack to do it. And I know that Jigsaw is working towards that. For instance, the tick multiplier feature that came out in the most recent major release, that's kind of a first necessary step towards being able to use it for stocks. So I think that at some point it will be able to be used with stocks, but right now I don't think it's really there. I have a recurrent problem with my eyes and recurrent headaches. You think an OLED screen is better than an LCD for that? Oh. So when you have like myopia, which is like you can't see things further away, like for me, if I didn't have glasses or contacts in, I wouldn't even be able to see the screen. Like that's like right on the edge of like where I can see. Beyond that, I can't read text. And when you have that, that can give you headaches. You know, I can't see where like an OLED versus. So you're saying an LCD, but it's not LCD. You're probably like a TN panel or something like that, right? The advantage of an OLED screen over a TN panel, for instance, is that the viewing angles are going to be better. So the colors, if you're a little bit off from it, are better. So if you're getting headaches, I don't think that's probably not it. If you're having headaches from it, you probably need to see an eye doctor. if you really think it's your eyes, and maybe you need glasses. How do you see meta orders in Jigsaw? Well, so on the DOM, the thing that I'm going to be looking for is like a really consistent imbalance between the market buys and the market sells here, right? Like when you come and you look at what they left behind, like how much they traded through to get through each of these prices. I mean, look at it. 1,700, 2,000, 3,000, 1,000, 1,000. Like there was some real selling that came through on that order, right? And the other thing that you're gonna see, if you can put up a chart, and you can pull up a chart like this in Jigsaw, right? Because Jigsaw has charts now. But you know, I want to see prices moving up, cumulative delta is moving up. Price moved down, cumulative delta is moving down. It really looks to me like there was a buy here, and a meta, and then we had the liquidity hole. And I don't know, maybe it was the same guy that bought. Maybe this guy was like, it's not happening, and he puked it or something. I don't know. Or maybe it's an opposing order. But there's definitely, you can definitely see kind of like that consistent trend down in the cumulative delta, right? So that's really, after the fact, it's best seen on the chart. But when you're watching it over here, you just have to have an eye for watching the DOM and seeing how many buys versus sells are going through. Another thing that you can do is you can use these power meters. So here's a power meter. An even better one is if you make a reconstructed tape. So like one of these things right here, and there's the power meters on that. And this gives you a power meter that you can change based on time. So this one, I have the trades, and then there's like a short-term and a long-term power meter. So one is 30 seconds and one is 5 minutes, right? And then I can see, okay, so there is a slight imbalance. There is more selling than there is buying over the past 5 minutes, right? CL has gained legs. Oh yeah, CL is running really well today, isn't it? Which is not necessarily a good thing. So I wonder, when we turn down here, no, there weren't. See the move down in the treasuries really kind of felt like it came out of nowhere. Did you get a new GPU? Yeah, I did. How can you tell? How would you know? How can you tell? I wouldn't think that you'd be able to see anything different about the... Yeah, I did get the new GPU. I've kind of been slowly buying the components, because sometime this year I do want to build a new PC. The thing I'm kind of waiting for is the right motherboard, because I would really like a motherboard with a lot of USB outputs, because I have a lot of devices. Man, this doesn't seem to be slowing down. Oh yeah, that's right. You weren't gone for that long. Like you came around and then you kind of disappeared, but you were here like a couple of weeks ago too, huh? Yeah. Yeah, so I got a 3060. Yeah, so actually what happened was the plugin that I'm using, so you can like record and you can have it just record your main screen, right? But what if you want to record like your webcam separately from your main cam, or something like that, right? And so there's this plugin that you can put on as a filter and it will source record. And so when I updated to the latest version of that, the problem that I was having went away. So I have been recording the sessions. I have the full sessions. I haven't been recording the camera. I think I probably should. The thing that kind of makes me weary about doing that is that I need to record it in 4K. So, yeah. Why would I get a Mac Studio? You know what really bothers me? Okay, so now we're getting a little bit more buy-in here, by the way. So the whole thing about like there was a buy and then there was a sell, like the thing is like they're already to liquidity hole and just going sideways here again. So like it's entirely possible that like the next move moves it back up. I don't know, but it's seeing that kind of action, I would say is not in line with what I was expecting today. So we could still get a trade based off of the PMIs. Although I think that if the PMIs do anything, it's going to be like, I'm concerned that Chicago PMI comes out right now. The estimate is 45.5. I'm concerned that like we get Chicago PMI and it's like 51 and they sell really hard, If that happened, we'd definitely be at like 4.1. Well, it looks like the sellers are still coming though. Now, you know what bothers me about like the Mac computers is like, okay, the last Mac Pro or whatever it was, it seems like it was just yesterday, but it's been like 2 or 3 years, right? So like the hardware is crazy out of date, right? And they're still charging the same price for it. So like anybody that buys it right now is getting totally ripped off. Man. There's just a lot of things about Apple that rubs me the wrong way. I really don't like Apple. I've never used their products. I've never liked them. When everybody was like iPads, iPhones, all this shit, I just shake my head. Okay, well, we're getting another bout of selling here for sure. You're getting another bout of selling. It's just, it's not having as much impact, so it's kind of hard to go along with the trend on that one, because it's really easy to get stuck like selling the low, you know. And we just had the S&P 500 open up, and it looks like the initial move is a sell so far. I mean, there's been some decent trend down going into it, but now that they're open, it looks like they're selling it, man. Yeah, I should come over here and add. So I've got what, the cam link here, filters for cam link. Source record. The laptops are the only thing that is worth it. I just got a Dell Alienware and hate it. It's a huge toy. Yeah, well, so yeah, because the thing that I like about the Apple laptops is that they really prioritize multimedia playing. Apple is all about, that's kind of always been their strength, you know? So, yeah. I mean, it's kind of starting to say to me, you had the direction wrong, Seth, and we're just going to continue selling all day. I don't know, my 5-year DOM is a little screwed up. Man, look at that volume right there. Somebody hit them at 975. I still don't like it. So the thing I don't like right now is that we're so close to the news, right? Oh, that's right. I didn't. No. I'm all like trying to add this source record, and I'm just remembering why I wasn't doing it. Not that I'm scared of PMI, but it doesn't really make sense for me to try and take an outright position ahead of it, right? It's probably is going to move the market. Hopefully I don't crash here. Gosh. So what I'm realizing is that the problem I was having and the reason why I haven't been recording the cam is because of 4K. It can't, if I try and record the 4K source to a file, it doesn't work. It's like, I don't know, the drive's not fast enough or something. I hope it didn't just crash OBS there. Because that little window isn't, the filter window's not closing down. Okay, sorry about that. We're back. What's wrong with 2K? So what I want to do is I want to be able to resize it for vertical format. So in order to do that, I really need like 4K resolution. But it won't record in 4K resolution. I guess I could try and do it on the I don't know. Could do it on the camera itself, but they're still pushing. It looks like they're gonna do another 10 basis points here, man. Well, while I'm sulking about it, let's try and reload that. There you go. It's a little bit better. Got about 4 minutes. The RTX has a recording encoder, but it doesn't seem to be seamless 4K recording. And I pretty sure that I was doing it on my nice fast drive and everything too, but it's just for whatever reason it comes out super choppy. Wow. This I don't know, man. I'm missing it. It sucks, but I cannot explain why you would get that kind of volume here just ahead of the PMI is a little bit surprising to me. I was definitely wrong today. And so, you know, if I'm going to be wrong, I'd rather just walk away with -10. But let's see. They could keep going. If you could test it for a 3070, that would be really cool. So the key thing is that I think for it to really be like I have the CME guy on the phone. I think the test that we'd really want to do is you would want to have one that's recording 1080 and then another stream that's recording 4K, right? All right, Seth, calm down. Calm down. It's okay. Really bites. Like to come in and be like, get out at 60 and then see it go a whole another 20 points. It's like, argh. It was a good exit, but it's kind of like maybe I should have turned around, right? I guess that first one was a live trade. Yeah. Most of these ones that I take on the 10-year are live. I actually think all of them are. I don't think I've traded live on the micros. Over here in the 10-year, those are not live. Those are me practicing managing multiple contracts. Yeah. No, it's like, well, you could have reversed and gotten it. It's just that clearly I'm not in the know, right? Like I don't know what's causing that move. So in order for me to have done something different, I would have had to have had actionable information. So really what I'm kind of searching for is like, okay, what was it that I didn't know? What do I need to figure out so that I can have the informational edge again, right? I always jam myself up early in the morning, and then in the afternoon I crawl it back. Oh yeah, it is really frustrating. That's kind of been the market that it is, right? Is like, you might not be able to predict which way it's gonna go, but then like when it does start going, it like really runs, and so you do make it back. Okay, so there's the news, right? I'm not seeing as dramatic of a reaction to the news as we usually get off of PMI, but it looks like they did decide to buy it. So that must mean that Chicago PMI was really close to in line. Yeah, Chicago PMI gets released 3 minutes early. Yeah, 8 and play. It's the weird one. But that probably means that it's probably close in line. Citadel has their fingers all. I don't know if they really actually need that sort of a thing to have an advantage over Citadel, right? So like the amount of money that Citadel made this past year really says to me that while options is like the place of innovation and so forth, that most of the people that are trading options over there are getting royally screwed, right? I don't think they're using their fingers. Good one. No, like the amounts that they're making over there are truly like legendary numbers. It's really like, okay, so like you go back to like Renaissance Technologies, for instance, right? Renaissance Technologies has like a 50% 30-year annualized return at one point. These days it's not as much, but back then it was like a 50% annualized return. Okay, cool. But you know, they'll get into a thing and then it goes up like 20x and that sort of a thing, right? So they can have these winners that are just like huge with the way that Renaissance is playing things, right? Whereas Citadel, from what I understand, Citadel is mostly market making. So to be making 20% just from market making is like really extreme. Like that suggests that there's a really strong imbalance here between the best player in the market and everybody else. So much so that I think you really have to think twice about trying to buy options, right? Like you've really got to know something. You've really got to know something that the market doesn't, I think, to justify buying options. They do provide opportunity. I mean, like we caught that opportunity on oil, but they're hard to find. They're hard to find. Okay, so now we should be getting the number. Okay, so it was under expectation, 43.6 versus 45.5. Okay, so here's my thing. Now, okay, so initially we thought that we would see some buying today for end of month rebalancing. Then we sold and we weren't quite sure why we were selling. So maybe we were selling because I'm wrong and the play is sell into the end of the month. But the other theory was maybe they're front running PMIs. Well, if they were front running PMIs, they were wrong. And we haven't seen too dramatic of a change afterwards either. So I'm not too sure in here now. In fact, it could be the case that everything that we've seen up until now is just kind of like traders trading, you know, and maybe market makers screwing around with us a little bit. But I don't think that any of that really tells us a whole lot. So it's So it kind of puts me in a spot where I think I just kind of have to sit and wait and see if I find something. I suppose there could be a scenario where we move back up to the highs and then maybe I'd be interested again, but that's a tough one to play because it's like, so we've had basically like 2 key decision points here today, right? And both of them have kind of turned out to be duds. So that's usually doesn't speak well for what might happen the rest of the session, even though there's definitely going to be some end of month flows. I still, even after all that, I still think the end of the month flows are going to be buying. Could be wrong, but I still think that the end of month flows are going to be buying. So we'll see, I guess. I guess there's consumer confidence at the top of the hour. CB Consumer Confidence and Richmond Fed Composite Index, and we're looking for, on the consumer confidence, reading of 108, and the Richmond Fed we're looking for a reading of -5. And there's, oh geez, so sellers are still very aggressive here. Yeah, aggressive, but somebody just got buried, so I don't know. Let's come over to Zero Hedge and kind of take a look at this. Capitalism is broken if record profit margins don't revert. I agree. Well, I wouldn't just say capitalism is broken. Something is really weird is going on if profit margins don't revert this year. Because in a year with high inflation, you would expect the people closest to the supply chain to benefit from it, right? But then as the inflation becomes widespread, everybody's going to be hurting. So the profit margins should come back. I'd be very, very surprised if they didn't. Well, they got a couple of interesting stories, but don't be fooled. U.S. stocks are still far from cheap. Okay. That sucks. But Warren Buffett was buying. Well, I guess Warren Buffett doesn't know everything, huh? Yeah, I really want to know though, why is it? So again, we kind of saw like the dollar move lower and gold move higher, okay, and the treasuries were flat through most of that, and then all of a sudden the treasuries turned back down really hard. So what's with that? Why did gold move as strongly as it did on its own? Well, and let's not say completely on its own with the dollar. What's this? Mohammed A. El Arian. February market theme persists on this last day of the month as yields move higher amidst greater worries about inflation and, therefore, central banks having fallen behind again. The 2-year yield is currently trading at 4.82 and the 10-year at 3.96. Even bigger moves in Europe. Oh, interesting. Okay, so that is a good thing that I had good thing to point out that I had definitely forgotten about, which it was that there was some inflation data overnight from Europe, and that rates had risen a little bit because of that. And it looks like the Europeans are still sellers. So on our end of month flows, if we still really strongly believe that it's going to be buy, you could wait until after the London close to time that trade. I think is the conclusion you have to make from that. Wow, my $6,000 mistake. Avoiding the 6 most costly errors with trade rooms. Ugh. Really is crazy that so many people, how much money is wasted on trade rooms. Yeah. City strategists say traders are piling up short bets on stocks. That was 2 hours ago. We're at 3965 now. Do I see anything in the spreads? I don't really even see anything in the spreads either. I don't know, guys. I think today is just turning out to be a dud. So now I get to talk about whatever I want, right? So the thing on my mind, the thing that's been on my mind lately is teamwork. That's the thing that's on my mind lately. I feel like I'm getting better with it, but I don't really feel like that we have as much teamwork on the stream as we can. And I think the reason that we have that is because I'm not really providing you guys the opportunities to contribute. And I'm not sure what the best way to do that would be. So for instance, one thing that I am doing here is like that with that strategy PDF, I gave you guys in the PDF itself a link to the Google Docs version of the document where you can leave comments. So you can proofread it, or if there's something that's wrong or you want to contribute something, we can continue to update the document. I don't know if anybody's like super interested in that, but you know, that's kind of where we're at. And so it's just like how, and the other thing that I think about with teamwork is like, okay, so what makes you good at teamwork, or what makes people a good team, right? Well, it seems to me that teamwork is like people taking on individual roles in order to meet a greater whole. And it might be that you're switching between roles quickly and so forth, but you know, it's basically like there are 2 roles that have to be played at the same time, and one person can't do both of them, right? Cumulative delta for ZN has been all over the board. It's like a dog chasing its tail. Because all of that selling did come back out, didn't it? So yeah, that's kind of brings me back to what I was saying, Octavius, which is like we've had orders come through here that look like large meta orders, but they've been conflicting with each other. They don't seem to match up with any of the fundamentals or other information that we have, and I can't really prove that they weren't just traders taking a shoot in the dark, you know? Mutual benefit back in the day on Forex Factory. We had a small team work on one of the first market profile indicators for MT4. That was fun. That's where we learned a lot of programming. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. So, but yeah, the whole thing is like mutual benefit. You're working together. I guess you can have multiple people working on the same thing at the same time, right? But I guess where I was kind of going was like there are specific roles and so forth, right? I think one of the problems that I see in society, and what I was kind of hinting at yesterday with the TikTok that I had made, is that everybody's focused on like, are you a badass? You know, like all the girls, they want to be the bad bitch or whatever the deal is, right? Why do you want to be the bad bitch? Well, okay, so independent. The word independent is the way the more I guess a non-vulgar way of saying it, that they're independent. Okay, so what does independent mean? Does independent mean that you're competent? Does independent mean that you're like a strong, responsible adult that gets things done? Or does independent mean to you more that you're just able to do everything that needs to be done in your life by yourself, right? Because if that's what it's all about, that's not necessarily like a good thing, right? Because the whole thing is that if you were able to work in a team and you were comfortable allowing other people to do things for you, and you know, confident in doing that, you're going to accomplish more. You're just always going to accomplish more together with other people, right? So really, you want to be a good team player, right? And part of being a good team player is being able to take on different roles. So in a relationship, you know, there are traditional quote unquote gender roles that are based on largely what the different genders are largely interested in, right? Women tend to be more interested in taking care of children than men are. That's just the way it is. They're more interested in it. Okay. My wife is definitely more interested in her kids. Okay. And if you don't want to take on those roles, then what are the roles that you're going to bring to the relationship, right, to be a team player? Because if you're both bad bitches, then it's like, okay, so what is the point of you being together? What is it that you're doing together that you couldn't do apart, that you couldn't accomplish apart, right? Other than verifying your social status by having somebody else that's just as rich and successful as you are, I guess, or satisfying some sort of, you know, missing emotional need. But I tell you, man, the emotional needs that you have, they're not going to be fulfilled unless you feel like you and your partner are like accomplishing things together too. That's what I found, at least for me. So what are the skills that you bring to it, right? And so then I think about this stream, because I don't know what the answer is for it, right? Because the reality is, like, we're all traders, right? We're all traders. And so we're a bunch of people working together all in the same role. And I guess what I'm saying is that it seems to me like we need to provide opportunities for individuals to take on different roles on the stream. You know what I mean? Got some big brains in this chat. Good content. Fun project would be for us working on indicator strategies that don't exist for NinjaTrader 8. Yeah, so well, I will start posting in the NinjaTrader chat in the programming channel. I guess I should do that today, because otherwise I'm going to forget about it. But I'm making a video about the problems with volume profile. So I'm gonna be making a couple of things. I already have some stuff, but I might want to just refine it a little bit, because the issue you always run into with making a video like this is that people are gonna be like, well, it does work if you do this, and this. It's like, how many different things do you have to back test? You really got to make something that's like really, really robust so that people can take it and change the parameters around and prove to themselves that whatever does they think is going to work doesn't actually work, right? And we're really moving back up strongly. Jeez. The only downside is the guy who has the bulk of the programming knowledge, though. I think those of us with less knowledge can, I have a feeling, use ChatGPT to expand our programming knowledge pretty fast. Yeah, I think, so to me, the advantage with ChatGPT is that if there is a common task that is done commonly, but, you know, it takes a little bit of code. So for instance, I want to set up a daily position limit. Like, we can't lose more than X. Can't lose more than X amount in a day, right? And if you ask ChatGPT to write you something like that, you're probably going to get, it's probably going to be faster than writing it yourself. It's going to give you like a 12-line function that you can put in there, and then that function's probably not going to build, but then you put it in there, and if you know NinjaTrader and you read the error messages, you can probably resolve the issues that it had pretty quickly. And so that's where I think that ChatGPT can be really valuable, right? But you're still going to have to know what you want, right? Like the thing that bothers me with the ChatGPT is everybody's like, okay, write me a profitable day trading strategy in NinjaTrader 8, and then it will give you something, and it'll be like, here's how you write an RSI strategy, okay? But it's not going to be profitable, right? So, but if you know, like, you have a detailed strategy of some sort that you really want to go after, right? Then you really can get something valuable out of it. So let's ask ChatGPT some questions, actually. Had it write me an indicator that measured the ratio of executed trade volume against available limit orders. Oh yeah? Oh wow, that it actually was able to do that, huh? I'm surprised that it would be able to figure out the on-market depth stuff. Why is it not giving me? Oh, because I went to OpenAI dot. You didn't get to compile it. Well, did it have an on-market depth method? Okay, what are the best market profile, volume profile, auction theory based day trading setups? Let's see what it tells us. It says it calls the opening range breakout a would you consider opening range breakout a volume profile setup? But where do you factor in the where does the volume profile actually factor into that? So it talks about POC reversals. So it's talking about these POC reversals. So it seems to me like it's saying, okay, we have a point of control there. We just came back to the point of control. if it's able to get a certain amount away from that point of control on the profile, then that's a breakout and we can buy it from there. And vice versa, if it comes up to here and it hasn't been able to break out after a certain amount of time, then we can go short, right? So we could program that pretty easily. We could talks about VWAP, but I wouldn't consider VWAP. That VWAP is a different thing. Messed around with developing value areas and point of controls. Yeah, so I think so now next thing I want to do is come to DAX, google.com. Okay. Setups. So the setup we should be point of control, breakout, point of control, reversal, and ledge in profile is another one that I've got that I've written. And then I will also put in stats. So not only point of control, breakout, and reversal, but also return to previous day point of control and previous day value area breakouts. Right? So that one would be if we open below the previous day's value area, then you are likely to go back to the previous day's point of control. And if you don't, then it's a breakout. So we can test both of those, right? And we can base all of these, like, because these all kind of have to deal with like areas, so we can base those all on a volatility measurement, daily volatility measurement. So, and ChatGPT didn't give us as much as I would like there, but let's see what it does. Write a market profile based strategy for NinjaTrader 8. Let's see what it writes. I think this would be really hard for it to write because there's not a lot of code out there for volume and market profile based stuff that it can draw on. Okay, so it says that it's going to use market profile to identify support and resistance and trade on the breakout. It's saying it's going to use all of this stuff, but I don't think it actually is going to. Yeah, you can specify the one that you want, I guess, but it's taking it a long time to write this. It's really thinking about it, apparently. Now it's going to use a moving average. When the market breaks above the value area and the point of control with volume and the price is above the moving average, A long trade will be opened. Okay, sure. I'm honestly, because I know how these models work, I'm actually quite skeptical that the code it gives me will do that. In fact, I'm actually starting to wonder if it's actually going to write me code, because it's already spit out so much information that it's probably going to stop before it gives Ninja script code. Ask it to spline an on the run and off the run interest curve and normalize it to fixed maturities. I actually bet you it would do a better job of that than it would of what I just asked it to do. Isn't that funny? Because there's way more code out there about outside of NinjaTrader, let's say, and like more quant strategies. Yeah, we'll ask it after it's done here. Well, I'm sure that it won't like compile or work, but I think that it might actually get pretty close. Okay, so for starters, there is no market profile indicator for NinjaTrader like that. I'm interested to see what it thinks the API for market profile is gonna be. It's gonna be like market profile dot has broken out. If market profile dot has broken out, okay. It's adding a bunch of stuff at the top here that is probably not really necessary because they're usually included by default. Like he's setting default values. At the most, it will give you a superfluous plan on, yeah. Well, it is writing actual code here. Okay. Yeah, okay. It's in the defaults. Oh, wow. It's going to add a tick data series to it? Okay. Okay. You took a long? That's interesting. Like look at this. The amount of market volume that's come through here to go long is like has washed out everything down, but we're not actually higher. So I'm having a really hard time here, to be honest with you, figuring out what the market is doing today. The volume just doesn't make sense. There must be too much going on for us to be able to make sense of it, I guess. I don't know. Because why that strong sell if we're going to be right back up here? Okay. So is that all it will give me? If I say, please continue writing the code. Okay, that's good. If we're flat, current price is higher than the value high and the point of control, and the volume is greater than market profile dot TPO of 0 volume. What? Okay, this test right here makes no sense at all. So It's saying if you take the current TPO and then you say if my volume of my bar is high, that will never happen, right? Because shouldn't volume include the volume that's in the current TPO? Right? So, yeah, unless the bar and the TPO change at different times, this is never going to take a trade. Am I wrong? Well. Oh, and it has a profit taking strategy. Okay, so that's probably not the best way to take your profits, right? Because you can just tell it what your profit target is, right? If you've gotten so many ticks. Sure. On execution. Oh, that's interesting. That you don't have to do that. You can just set stop loss and set profit target up here in up here in your state.configure once. If you're not changing it ever, if it's always the same thing, which it is, that is what it's doing. You don't need the on execution. Depends on if you're on executing on bar close or on tick. Well, okay, so the problem on that one is that if you are executing on tick, which, by the way, was it saying to do it on tick? Let's see. Calculate on bar close. But it doesn't, the backtester does not work correctly if you do on each tick. So that's kind of a problem. Yeah, I need bar replay, which freezes. Yeah, that's the other thing, is that like backtesting this is kind of a sketch thing anyways. So I'm not quite sure what to make of. It gave some interesting ideas, but so the thing that I'm trying to get out of it here is, like, if I want to do backtests that show to people the problems with common volume and market profile based setups, then it needs to be a thorough enough job that it doesn't just turn into, well, why don't you test this? Why don't you test this, right? So it adding in a moving average and everything can maybe help. But so now I need to go through and see what I have written, because I do have some indicators that are like along these lines. Okay. So I have like a bunch of order flow ones. So, like, for instance, here's point of control return, where I find out what the point of control is, and then let's see here. If we are above, at a certain time of the day, we decide, are we above or below the point of control, and then try and take a trade back to it. So that strategy works, I think. Should work. Yeah, I think that all of the rest of these are kind of like unrelated. There was one that was like a ledge trade though. Where did I put that? have so many moving average ones I've tried. Oscillators. Daily high low. I swear I had one that was like a legend, the volume profile though. Let's see here. I have way too many strategies in here, man. I know it's in here somewhere. Oh, these ones I shouldn't show you. These ones were interesting. No. Slip. Oh, there it is right there. Step in profile. Durr. So let's do this. Let's make a new one called new folder called profile. And we'll put our step in profile there. And there we go. And we'll put our point of control return in there. Come on. No. What happened there? That's no good. I should have just done it with Explorer or something. Bin custom strategies profile. Oh, okay, it fixed it. It fixed it. I just need to like close the window and open it back up to get it to refresh. Okay, I think the other one that we should do is, I'm just gonna make a new one. I'm gonna call it val area value area. We'll just call it value area, but we'll make it like breakout or reversal, right? Generate. So we have those three. I think 3 is probably pretty good. Is there any edge in stacked order books? So there can be. So I have a video about dealing with large orders and spoofing, where I kind of talk about this. Like the key thing is that like with context, can you make out why it's there? Right, like it maybe it's at an even number, maybe it's a round number, and it really is just liquidity looking to get filled, right? Okay. Yeah. Now for the indicators, I'm gonna have to make my own versions of these indicators, but that way people can backtest them without having to worry about what NinjaTrader features they have, right? Okay, I'm gonna close that. That's funny. Akshay was saying here with his broker, they don't want small accounts, so they keep default margins as the full CME maintenance margins. And I find that funny because I kind of feel like that you should be using the full maintenance margins anyways, you know? So yeah. Dude, this has been okay. So when we were at the lows, it was like 10,000 net cumulative delta on this session, and now we're 40,000. So it's been 30,000 worth of buying. No way I would have predicted that one, man. You say the 2 years on fire. I'm telling you, I really think that there's a lot of end of month rebalancing buying that has to happen here. Notice, by the way, that the spreads still aren't really moving very much. I guess the 2 and the 5 steepened, but otherwise it's relatively flat. So you want to see another one, another AI thing that's really funny? Why would you say end of month buying needs to happen? Okay, so my logic behind why I think it will be buying is that in the month of February, there was the market is quite a bit higher than it was at the beginning. So let's just come back here to like a chart of the daily. Yes, okay. So yes, we have been down a little bit, right? But overall, especially since the beginning of the year, it's been equity buying. Okay. So probably what you're going to see here is people reduce their exposure in equities and increase their exposure in treasuries. So if I come back over here to the treasury, daily ZN, and I go back to like the last day of January, first day of February, see how it was buying? So the effect was probably even stronger in January because, you know, well, I guess, yeah, bonds had moved up quite a bit, actually. See, it's kind of, so, right, this is something that, like, it's hard for us to, like, really truly calculate from just watching a chart, right? Because we don't know how much money they made and like all of these other factors that are important, right? So I'm just guesstimating, right? But, you know, usually in the treasuries, they tend to buy at the end of the month anyways, right? So it's kind of to our advantage to favor it long anyways, right? So that was why when we came in, as soon as I saw like any kind of like buying at 3.95, I was like, okay, we're going long here. And so I took it, and it was a really good trade, and it turned into a loser, and I would say mostly bad luck. So now we've had like really strong buying through this whole thing. I suppose that 3.95 is not a terrible place to try and take it, but I have no clue if like it continue. I mean, that's like 30,000 contracts long. The whole thing is just really surprising to me. So I think it may be better for me to just sit out now, take the one loser, and come back and get, you know, tomorrow. I think there will be some more opportunity later in the week. Okay, anyways, I was going to say, look, we have a business name generator. So let's do investment advisor, speculator, Seth, excellence, integrity, teamwork. And let's see what names this will come out with. We can do auto. with related commodity trading advisor and YouTube channel, maybe. I don't know. We just put that in there and see if it takes that stuff in and how it uses that. I did click next, right? Sometimes you click the button and it's like it doesn't do anything. Just sits there for a little bit. I might need to just wait. Iceberg at 14. Does it not like this? Should I just take this part out? Maybe I need to take the shields down. Wow. Random ideas. There we go. And look, it gives me all of these names for what we can name our investment advisor business. InvestSense. I bet you that's taken. InvestSense. InvestSense LLC calculates funds incremental correlation adjusted cost using Miller's active expense ratio. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Trimper. Okay, I don't know where it's getting that from. It seems to really like the word nomad for some reason. Speculator Elite. E-Guru. Ugh. Ugh. Yuck. Just saying, and look, it's all like pink with like Gucci letters and stuff like that. Just saying that one made me feel icky. Scented Capital, what the hell? Okay, wait, is that? I bet you that one's not taken though. Scented Capital. Fragrance Capital. There you go. You could call your investment advisor business Scented Capital. I'm gonna go with no though. AlphaSight Invest. Profitable Insights. That would be a dangerous name to use. Envisi1. Zebra Securities. Eloquent. These are so dumb. To be honest, I that one that somebody might already be called that. Eloquent Advisors. I bet you somebody, yeah. Eloquentadvisory.com. A pro sales specialist boutique startup. Wells Fargo, yeah. That would be funny. Some of them are like Aligar. Okay, where did you get that from? Okay. It likes ones that start with Equivos. Trad Elite, that's okay. That sounds like a Facebook group for high value traditional wives. Trad Elite, you know? that's what the trad wives would call their Facebook group, I think. That's Zingable? Wait, is that a thing? Zingable? Yep. With Zingable, you no longer need to depend on overpriced subpar one size all agencies. Now you can easily create. So do you guys? Are you kind of getting like? You smell what I'm stepping in? You see what the problem with AI is? Like everybody's getting in. So I was watching Harris Heller the other day. I like watching that guy's stream. He's about the only guy that I really still find interesting to watch stream. And at the end, they were getting into the whole open AI art generation thing. And he's like, okay, are we concerned about it? Because like an AI generating art, there's something about the way that it does it that's not the same as the experience as a human, and it's not the same thing. Or are we concerned about it because we're afraid that it's going to put artists out of work and all of this sort of stuff? And I'm like, well, on one part of it is that they are using art in this AI art generation that the art generators never agreed to that usage. Right. And the AI, it doesn't make its own strokes, right? It doesn't say, oh, here's the style of a stroke. It's kind of like taking bits and pieces from different pictures and kind of like morphing them together. And like the thing is with all of these AI algorithms, you can inject a certain amount of randomness, like sizzle, but you can put sizzle to 0 and it is deterministic. You will get the same picture out every time, right? So it's really not generating its own content. If it's taking data and it's doing transforms on that data, right? So I think that's illegal what they're doing. If like Getty Images or whatever didn't agree to the usage, okay. But then there's this other side of it, which is like, are AIs actually going to replace artists? I mean, maybe eventually, but I don't think that we're anywhere close to that yet. Because yes, what has happened is we've gotten to the point where an AI can give us convincing responses, and it can answer complicated questions, okay? But it's not accurate and it's not original. Almost every name that you come into here, I mean, we might find something good, but I'm gonna bet you that like every good name that we find in here is gonna be taken. Like, you're gonna search for it, it's gonna be taken. Investable. Oh wait, I should have done it over here. Investable.com. Yep. Oh, look, there's one. How does it compare to what their where did it go? Okay, so here's their investable, and look, it literally stole the name of an existing website. Like, it straight up just completely stole it. Call it YOLO Swaggins in the capital. That should have been my YouTube name, YOLO Swaggins. Know your meme. Oh, is there like actual all the habits got hats on and shit. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's great. That one probably wouldn't work very well though, because of that. Because he wouldn't come up very high in the search results. A rolled, okay. Revalor? Wait. Dope. Wait, how do you spell that? Dopecution? Dopecution. There you go. Dopecution. It's a Twitter. There's a Twitter account. Dopecution Investment Advisors. That would probably make more sense as a oh, but look, he's only got like four people following, and he has one tweet that he's deleted. Dude, we could be Dopecution Advisors. We could be Dopecution Advisors. Uh-oh, what did ChatGPT say about me now? It's probably gonna like say something really mean about me, huh? Oh, wait. I think that Speculator Seth is an experienced day trader and provides valuable advice to those who want to improve or learn their trading skills. He has a lot of experience and he seems to be very knowledgeable about different strategies and techniques. Wow, I'm pleasantly, you know what? Maybe ChatGPT isn't so bad. He is also very approachable, which is great for those. Oh, thank you. You know what? That's so cool that it says that last thing, because I feel like that That's the thing. That's the biggest advantage that I have as a content creator, is that I'm approachable. And if you're just starting out, that's somebody that you can talk to. And, you know, I am somebody that you can talk to and get good information, you know? Oh my gosh. Where did I put, I'm looking for something. Oh, okay. Here we go. I have an Evernote list with the ones that were good. I also liked anything that was dice, but no, I think we're putting Dopecution. Is it searching the chat logs? I don't, so we don't know everything about its data, the data that it runs on. So it's some sort of like data that's been web scraped and then somehow like cleaned up. So it could be pulling from like transcripts of YouTube videos, for all I know. Is your ChatGPT account username also Speculator, Seth? I mean, I don't think so. I think it's just my Gmail account. So I don't think that it knows that they're associated, but I could be wrong. By the way, where are we at on yield? 395 again. So I'm like, it's a little bit too late now, but like I'm tempted to go short yield again. All right. Anyways, Dopecution. Profound. That would be lovely if you could name your investment advisor that, but there's no way that one's not taken. Enfant, sir. What the? That's French, right? I don't remember what that means in French. Wanderer. I don't know. Pawn or capital? That I don't think that would be a good name for your investment advisor. Good grief. Oh, look at this. If you click on it, it will be like, okay, here's all the different ones that you can use. Okay, no. Profitocracy? Whoa, wait, what? Profitocracy? That's got to be a thing, right? Oh, actually, there's a YouTube channel called Profitocracy. Infinity Financial? Okay. That doesn't make any sense. Speculation. Come on. I think some of the names that this thing comes up with are so funny. Speculation. Because I know where it's pulling the Asian from, but when I hear that, it's like he's a speculator that's Asian. Well, that would be cool. I mean, maybe I don't know. I don't know how would the stream be different if I was an Asian. That'd be interesting to think about, but we probably shouldn't go that way. Probably shouldn't go there. Gainsful. Stemex. What the? Ethylite? See, how does that have anything to do with Seds Invest? What? Ethagreed? Wait. Ethagreed? Yeah, no, that we could do that. We could do that one. If I was all in on greed is good sort of a thing, yeah, we could go Ethagreed. That would maybe work. But no, I'm not. I don't think that greed is good necessarily. I think that self-interest, that people working in their own self-interest is good in general. With controls. Alabar. AWise. There's no way that's like not taken. Again, AWise. There is an UCLA student organization Who can? What the? Or is it Kukan? I don't think that we should call our investment advisor Kukan. Gain Scale Ventures. Gain Scale Ventures. That just sounds like the most generic. Oh, actually, it is. But I think that we would have to be a venture capital firm for it to be that. For us to be Gain Scale Ventures. What is just Gain Scale? Gain Scale Property. We can call it Gain Scale Investment Advisors. Call it Great Mate M8 Capital. I'm gonna write Gain Scale on there. That wasn't terrible. Bambino. Come on. Sutra Investments. That's actually an interesting one that it pulled out there. Prosper Expert. Is that a thing? Prosper Expert. Petroleum Experts. Prosper Walmart. You could be Prosper Expert. Oh, Great Bait Mate. Yeah, okay. Moolah. Somebody should make a recreation of the movie Mulan from Disney. Somebody should recreate Disney's Mulan, but have the characters all be cows and call it Mulan. Right? Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Merely exuberant. Wait, what? Merely exuberant. So the problem with this one is that exuberant is difficult for people to write, but I really like that you're merely exuberant. Hey Tariq, how's it going, man? We're looking up names for what we should call our investment advisor business. Merely ineptic. What the? Accredited investments. I don't think you could use that name. Money Sense. That's got to be a YouTube channel somewhere. Profitable. You see, you can't. I don't think you can use those names in your investment advisor. I don't think that's a good idea. Said Texas. Ethical Investor, Seth Ventures. Yes, we could just call it Seth Ventures. Sesame Wealth. That's got to be a thing. Sesame Wealth. Yep. Sesame Financial. This also likes the word bespoke. It's not a thing that we use in. I bet you that a lot of Americans don't know what bespoke means, per se. Equidium. Verdictal. You know, some of these would be good names if I was looking to create like a Robin Hood clone or something like that, right? Stochastic. Here comes the bond market, US hibernation, boring. Dude, like, you can't explain today's action, can we? Well, I mean, I think that we have to, the conclusion I have to make is that there was just traders trading, and they're done. And maybe there will be a move going into the close, but yeah, it's just died down and it's not doing anything anymore. So in the end, I think I'm actually glad that I only took one trade, because it did end up being bad action, didn't it? Accrete, the best investment advisor. Critic, okay. Bling bit, bling blit. Okay. Credolism. What do you think credolism means? What would be the definition of credolism? Well, there's creedalism. Quills. See, like, the thing that I don't like about, I think speculator Seth is just like, I heard it and I was like, I have to use that. It's just too perfect. Okay. But in the end, it's not actually the best name, because a lot of people have a hard time reading the word speculator or spelling the word speculator. Like, if I go on to another YouTube channel or another stream and I leave a comment and they'll be like, oh, here's a comment from Spectacular I don't know what that is. Seth that's what happens to me. So it wasn't a Hargon. Prowl expert. Speculatus. Jekyll Rises. How is that a name for an investment advisor? Okay. Rockas. You could say, if it was RUKKZ, Ruckus, that might be a thing. RUKKZ, Ruckus. Yeah, big Ruckus. There you go. It's a Instagram account. Crescendo advisor. I don't know if that's that sounds like a bad omen. See, here you go. Fidetiv. There's the name for your new new stockbroker business. Adeptly expert. Oh my gosh. Are we flat? Yeah, so like I only see a change in the spread, and it's a steepener on the 2-year. I guess the other ones are flatter, but only by like 2 ticks. So yeah. Trained advisors. Well, that's good that your advisors are trained, but I don't know if that's Aradon. You can't even see it because it's wait. It did it really suggest E-Queerer as a name for an investment advisor? I don't even know how you would say that. E-Queerer. Acquerer. That is just, oh my gosh. Osmosis point. Oh, I like that. Osmosis point. Because it's like the place where the osmosis happens. Would you guys view like that? You know what? I wish we had time for a poll. We don't have a time for a poll. Finale. No, thank you. Rival. Get respect. Speculates. That's funny, the ones that you can tell it's trying to use the word speculator in. Trade sexy. Oh man. I really I'm still laughing about the Mulan thing. Oh. I'm gonna go out there now after the morning meeting here until I'm laughing so hard it's making me feel lightheaded. I'm gonna go out there and tell that to my life. That's so effing funny. Grit Trader. Zulu Insight. Segmentum Advisors. Envision Capital, that's probably a thing. Envision Capital. I really want to go and create now a tech research park called Osmosis Point. I think that could work. Even though, I don't know anything about running a business park. Seems to pull ethical out a lot. Isn't that interesting? Nasha? Okay. Well, now I feel like that they're kind of starting to go down in quality. Trade wars. It's kind of funny because some of these would be like super great names, like if the internet didn't exist, right? Sticky Dizzle. I don't know what Sticky Dizzle is, but it sounds hilarious. Oh my gosh. Sticky Dizzle. Oh my gosh. All right, guys, we should go. I will see you tomorrow. We'll take the best ones and we'll do a poll. All right. In the meantime, stay excellent, team.